Hey everyone, welcome to Fridays with Neen. Hi, Steph.
Fridays with Neen. Fridays with Neen. Every day is Fridays with Neen.
Womp womp. Man, I need to carry that note longer. How are you?
I'm doing fantabulous because it's Fridays with Neen, my favorite. And
Aw.
well, when everyone listens, it's gonna be Friday. But
Mm-hmm. True that.
right now it's currently Wednesday, and
It
episode
is.
70 dropped today. And I was like, we're so
Right?
good.
We are good. And that was a really good episode. It's crazy how we don't realize how much happens in 1 year. And
Mhm.
1991 kind of solidified how much can happen in a year.
Okay, and I'm telling you, like, and I said it when we were recording, but I'm so glad we're doing this because, you know, it feels like it was just yesterday, the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And oh my God, it's been over 30 years and I don't remember things. And I pride
Mm-mm.
myself on having really good memory, but
Mm-hmm.
this is like a nice little history lesson for me in a good way, like fun,
Mm-hmm.
but not everything's fun, but like, oh, we lived through that. Let's learn more about it. So
Totally. Yeah, because it's crazy the things that you forget about once it passes. If
yeah.
it's not huge, like, I don't know, like 9/11, for example.
Hmm.
I think it's one of those things that just, okay, and then if someone brings it up, then you revisit it. But other than that, it's just kind of, I don't want to say it's forgotten, but we just don't think about it.
Yeah, and speaking of 9/11, because my gosh, that just the anniversary just passed. And I think
I
when we
know.
recorded on 9/11 and
Yeah, and I
you
meant to
know,
mention it too, and after I was like, crap, we forgot to say something because I was crazy.
yeah, and like I still haven't watched the documentaries that are out there because it's still too raw and too
Mhm.
like recent.
Mhm.
But TikTok, they like are really good about like people are really good about putting like stuff that's happened on social media. And I came across this video, or this video came across me, like it just came up on my For
Mhm.
You, and it was
Mhm.
like audio messages of people on the plane. I was sobbing my eyes out,
Mhm.
sobbing. And
Yeah.
I did not remember that people banded together to storm the cockpit. I
Mhm.
completely like blocked that out.
Yeah, that was I watched that movie. I can't
Oh,
remember the name of the movie, Flight something, and
oh,
it was it's so funny when you watch that movie or you hear about what happened. Because to me, I'm like, okay, what did he have? What did they have that could, possibly, like,
stop
honestly,
them.
if someone say he stabbed someone, okay,
Mhm.
he stabbed them, but you know I'm thinking, okay, I would just like run after him and just bombard him and just beat the crap out. But then the problem was is that they couldn't get in the cockpit, right?
Mhm.
So
And
it was
all they could
just
hear is like them saying praise God or some, or I don't know
Allah or
what with,
whatever.
yes, Allah,
Hmm.
but like in
Hmm.
Arabic. And
Right.
like it just this one voicemail or voice message of a woman, I wish I knew her name,
Hmm.
calling her husband, like, hi honey, are you there? Like just so sweet, leaving a message. Can you imagine being that husband coming home to that voicemail?
Yeah, see, I just that's
Like
it's so gut wrenching.
it
It's
is.
so I think that there was a stewardess or flight attendant. I
Ye-
don't think they like to be called stewardesses. I
mhm.
can't, something like that, but flight attendant. And I don't know if it was on this plane or if it was the one that went into the Pentagon. But she was buried at Cypress Cemetery where Tony used to work. I mean,
Wow.
I shouldn't have said the name, but whatever.
Oh.
I'll block that out later.
Mhm.
So she was buried there, and he actually cremated her.
Wow. I think I remember you telling me that. That's so,
Hmm.
oh,
It's just because it's weird. It just impacted so many different people from all over. It wasn't just, and I don't know. The one I saw that, which was really, I don't know, it just freaked me out was um, there was these people in a high rise apartment and they were on the opposite side, but they had a clear view of the towers. And they're looking out the window and they see that it's on fire and that something's going on. And she's on the phone with her mom, and I think her mom is like telling her, you need to go, or she's panicking, what's going on? Because nobody knew. And then all of a sudden they're looking at it and they're recording it, and all of a sudden the other plane hits, and it was like the the terror in their voice
Oh,
was so horrible. And I was like, because they were like, oh my gosh. I mean, imagine we're over here and we're thinking the world's going to end,
mm-hmm.
right? Imagine being in that city in New York where this is all happening, in Washington, D.C. And where was the other one? Pennsylvania?
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just like,
Why do I want to say Maryland? But I don't know if that's
yeah, but there was three
right.
different
Yeah.
states, right? And it's just like, I don't know. It's just so terrifying. And it's just so sad because I don't know. It's one of those, but you know what? It's one of those times where I feel like in our lifetime where
Mm-hmm.
we will experience like patriotism like no other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody band together, everybody wanted to like join the military, and it was just like that's how it should be. That's how you should want to feel for your country. And it shouldn't take something like this, you know, no matter what president we have, no matter what, we should always be proud of where we come from and
Mm-hmm.
want to like represent, you
Mm-hmm.
know, because it doesn't define us. Like we're our own people, and it's us who really make the country. You know, our leaders just the people that are there. But, you know, a place like in a time like 9/11, I feel like it's like anything. It's like a funeral, right? It shouldn't be the moments like that where people come together, you know, and decide to go show up and see your family. It's
Right.
the same thing with instances like this. And I don't know. It's crazy to think. How many years has it been? 20?
Mm-hmm.
20.
2001.
I'm like, what year are we?
Wait, shit. 2023 minus 22. Yeah, 22 years.
Oh shoot. That's so crazy.
Do you remember where you were?
I was asleep, and I was yeah, I was asleep. I woke up with my mom calling me, and she's like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I'm asleep." And then I looked at my phone, and there were so many text messages of people saying, "Oh my gosh, the Twin Towers." And I go, and I didn't understand. And then I remember I went to do laundry with my boyfriend at the time, and it was like time stood still.
Yeah.
Looking at the news, people were just there looking in like in just shock. And it
Yeah.
was just so sad. How about you?
Me and Annie were house sitting together
Mm-hmm.
in downtown on near Union Square, I want to say. She was house sitting and I was there to sleep over, and I at that time I worked downtown as well in PG&E, so close to the Bay Bridge and
Mm-hmm.
all that, okay? And we had stayed up late and we were baking and just having like the world's cutest night. And we
Mm-hmm.
planned the following day to be cute day, where we were going
Mm-hmm.
to go to the zoo and we are going to do all things
Aw,
cute.
how cute.
And
How
but
cute.
exactly. And back in the day, we used to love to sleep in. Like me and Annie
Mm-hmm.
like could sleep till noon,
Mm-hmm.
and okay, so just all right.
Right.
So we stay up hella late and then we go to bed. We turn off our phones
Mm-hmm.
because back
Oh
then we turned
no.
off ourselves. And then finally we emerge from comas. I don't know what point, but several hours had passed since the World Trade Center.
Oh
We
no.
turn on our phones at the same time just to see what time it is. And we have like 30,000 messages from our moms. Our moms were like, where are they were freaking out. And we call, we're like,
No.
what? And they're like, turn on the news. And we turn on the news. We kind of just stood there like, we didn't understand what was happening. My mom was like, you are not going to work. Like, you're not
Mm-hmm.
going anywhere near there. Stay together. We stayed together. And I remember the city was so quiet.
Mm-hmm.
We
It
were
was.
walking around. I remember we were walking to Whole Foods to get
Mm-hmm.
dinner for later. And we were like, holy shit, like it's like a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only other time that it was like that since was COVID, like right
Yeah.
when that weekend after Angel's birthday and everything
Mm-hmm.
shut down. I was like,
Right.
like it's just like this,
Yeah.
the silence is deafening. So that's
Oh,
where we
totally.
were.
Mm-hmm.
Gone.
Yeah. It's one of those events where it's like you don't forget where you were, what you were doing,
Mm-mm.
like what it looked like around you, you know, the tone of everybody. It's just like, yeah, it's one of those moments where you just really can't, and you don't know what's going to happen next. And I think that was the thing is that, okay, like there were planes that were supposed to be headed our way,
Mm-hmm.
you
People were
know?
thinking like the Golden Gate Bridge, and
Hmm. Yeah.
no.
And
Mm-mm.
it's just, yeah, it's just really sad. It was, and it's crazy that so much time has passed since then.
It is, and it also scary because it's like you never know. Because ever since then, you're like, wow, it just you never know what can happen. And off
Hmm.
like I don't like crossing the Golden Gate Bridge, but I
Hmm.
do because we go see Annie regularly and vice versa.
Hmm.
And I don't like crossing that bridge. I'm always
Yeah.
holding my breath because you never know. Because that's the one, what's stopping anyone from
Hmm.
doing anything to that bridge?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is like when you think about it, there's nothing that's I mean, I know we have, I'm sure, undercover like Coast Guards and like, they have a lot of cameras and stuff, but still anybody could drive something
Yeah.
across the bridge or anything for that matter. I mean, who knows? Like, I guess this whole thing put a different perspective on just our safety as a whole.
Hmm.
And it changed our whole world and perspective on just life in general, you
Yeah.
know? Because before we were just like footloose and fancy free,
Mhm. Oh,
you
Angel
know?
says that. You guys are so pure. I always
So
die when
funny,
because I always picture people salsaing when
right? Hey. I love that saying. But
but yeah.
it's one of those things though that it's true. Like we just don't know from time to time. Anything could happen,
Hmm.
and it's not just, and the sad thing is it's not just like from other countries. I mean, we have our own type of terrorism going on in our own country,
Hmm.
and we've seen a lot of it since then. And we're just different type of people now with, we've never had a war on our land, whereas other countries have, in modern day, right? Where they've had to deal with like bombings and, not knowing if they're going to wake up the next day. We've had the luxury as being Americans to not have to deal with that in our lifetimes,
Hmm.
you know? Um, so I don't know, we're blessed, but it's definitely scary.
Yeah. You just can't take any day for granted because you don't know. And I just pray,
No.
like, can just
Mhm.
I just pray every day, just keep us safe. Please keep us safe.
No,
All you can do.
absolutely. I agree. No, and I'm glad we talked about it because I for sure forgot to even mention it. It was, I don't know, I can't even believe we're zooming into the middle part of September.
Like, can we slow down because September, October, and November are the
Yeah.
months. And I don't want it
See?
buzzing by. Like I want to feel where's my chilly weather? I want to be like,
Mm-hmm.
like cozy. Like one of my students gave me an early birthday present. She
Uh-huh.
gave me a pashmina from this brand that I've always coveted, but I like
Ooh.
refuse, to get
Uh-huh.
it.
Right.
And I want to wear it. I want to snuggle in it, and I can't because I'm
Uh-huh.
sweating. I'm wearing a tank top.
Well, that's true because are we technically in Indian summer?
Uh-huh, in
Yeah.
October.
See? So might be a minute. But I feel like our weather has been so different just across the country. So, but especially here, like it's humid, even though it's like maybe overcast in the city, it
Yeah.
still has a weird thickness to the air,
Yeah.
right? And
It
I don't
is. You're
know.
right.
I think though once it starts to get cold, it's been lasting longer.
Mm,
Because this year it didn't start to get warm here until end of June.
that's true.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's probably El Nino.
Oh, you've talked much smack about El Nino. But wait, before we even proceed, I need to ask,
Mhm.
how are you? And how
Oh,
are you today?
I'm doing fantastic stuff. I had a busy ass day. That's all I gotta say. Very busy. I don't know. I feel like life's been a little bit busy lately, but it's a
Yeah.
good busy. And yeah, I'm just happy. This is the start of my weekend.
Yay, that's awesome,
So
Nate.
tomorrow and Friday I'm off, so it'll be nice. And yeah, so it's just a lot,
Yeah.
but good stuff. How about you?
Everything's going really good. I'm excited that today's over and this is the highlight for me, seeing
Hmm.
you. So yay. And
Likewise.
then next, let's see, Saturday I get to see you. I'm very
Hmm.
stoked. We're gonna be
I
breathing each other.
know.
Oh, hi, the lights turned off. Just my pink
Ooh,
lights on.
I was gonna say you look very
It
pink.
was very dramatic. But
For
like,
real.
I know, like the universe is like finally they're gonna hang out. End scene. But like
Right?
on Friday, we're gonna get together for dinner with a few of our dance mates from our Backstreet
Aw,
Boys performance. I thought it was so cute. So I'm
I
excited
love
for that.
that.
And
How
then
cute.
Sunday, we're gonna take a Spice Girls dance class.
Oh, stop it. Like, do you know what songs you're gonna be like doing?
Wannabe. We're gonna be learning the
Oh,
choreography, which
shut
psh,
up. Okay, oh
psh,
my
like
God.
I already know it,
Yeah,
but I'll go to
exactly.
improve my
Scary.
technique.
Oh no, you weren't scary. You were sporty.
I was in
Sorry.
love with
Mm-hmm.
Sporty. I just didn't know it at the moment.
My God, that's amazing. Is it through the same company?
Yeah, so they'll often like once a month or once every other month they'll do pop-ups. So we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna pop in because when I saw the promo was
Oh.
Sporty doing a cartwheel, and I'm like, anything involving her. Which
Oh, I love it.
P.S. She's turning 50 and she's throwing like some sort of party, probably in London,
I'm
probably in
sure.
Liverpool, but
Mm-hmm.
there's tickets. Me,
Really?
imagine. Imagine if we went to England together. I
Oh my
freaking
God. Oh
love
my God, that would be
London.
amazing.
Like I could live in London,
Oh,
except I don't like the food. Like the food is
mhm.
not all that. And a bag of chip or crisps.
See, I think that might be our next trip, honestly, because Tony wants to go to
Oh,
London
you
so
will
bad.
love it. The
And yeah, and he goes and see, and I feel that the style of London is my is me. Like I feel like people are bold, they're unique, they're eclectic, they want to have like they want to make a statement, but like I could see people wearing like just for example, like a checkerboard jacket, with like orange pants and like,
there's
Doc
lots of that.
Martens. You know what I mean? Like it's cool to be like that, right? And I
There's
just feel
lots of
like
that. Yeah.
yeah, and I just love that. So,
There's also like very much like the Kardashians are very
mhm.
London, in my
Mhm.
opinion. And
Yeah.
like everyone's so well dressed. Like it's
Mhm.
bold, like you say, in some parts, but it's also very like sharp,
Right.
clean.
Clean cut, like banker kind of
Oh,
look, right?
yes.
Like, yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
And please do the cheesy double-decker bus because I was by
Of course.
myself
Were
in
you on
London.
top?
hmm
Oh, love it.
I was by myself for a whole week in London and not in the evenings, but
Mhm.
my days were just me. So I just would plan each day, and like I that was the best experience of my life. Kensington one day,
Aw,
and then
so amazing.
the all the museums and then
Mhm.
double-decker bus, and then I hopped off at Harrods and I bought
Ugh,
myself some champs and cheese.
amazing.
Like it was awesome. You're gonna love it. I'm so
Ugh,
excited for you.
oh my God. Yeah, Tony's like, I don't know. Tony's watching a movie or a show called The Last Kingdom. And it takes place there, but there's a couple castles, or I don't know, because I haven't watched the show, that he wants to go and visit in the countryside or something. So, um, yeah, so we'll probably be planning something like that. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know. London just has a different feel, and that would be amazing if we could totally just, you know, buy a
Mm.
ticket and just be like, hey, what up, sporty?
No, I would literally like pass away.
Oh my gosh. Hold on real quick about passing away. The VMAs
What?
last night. Did you see it?
I
Because I
s-
didn't.
I saw the performances that I wanted to see. I first of all, Shakira, I'm not well. And then in
In a good
sync
way?
in a good way.
Okay.
Like, and I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say it on air.
Are you
She,
really gonna say this? Because is it okay? Just say it. Because I have a feeling
she
it's about. Okay, go ahead.
she could have done the Super Bowl by herself.
Damn. I was like, does this involve something about J Lo? You think? Oh,
Yeah,
totally. I know she could have because
that entire
she
performance was
captivates a
insane.
room.
Yeah, it was like
Mhm.
she's amazing. Amazing. And
Yeah.
Carol G, like that's my, how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce. I like to
hmm
pretend in my head that my alter ego is Carol G. She's so sexy and like
What is her
confident and beautiful.
nationality? Like,
I
where's she
think she's
from?
Colombian, I believe.
Okay. Oh, so they're both Colombian.
Yes, and that single, I
Mm-hmm.
wish it came out in 2016 is all I'm gonna say.
Okay, that would have been your anthem. Hello.
It is. I sing it and dance it for
Hmm.
Steph back then. It was,
Yeah.
and then
No,
in
they
sync.
actually flow really well, both of them.
Yes, yes.
You know,
There's
they complement each other.
and Shakira's what, 2 decades older?
Mm-hmm.
Hi, thank
Yeah.
you.
I
But
could
in
see
sync.
Sorry, I could see Carol G though looking at her when she's was younger
Yeah.
and trying to,
Emulate.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Yeah.
in sync.
Puta madre. I cried my eyes out. Like, and Taylor Swift, like, yes. She's like, you're doing something. They're doing something. Like, and she was freaking out. Like,
Aw,
first of all, side note, Taylor Swift was a whole ass vibe the
I was
entire
just
show.
gonna
She was
say that.
throwing her drinks back,
I love it.
partying, singing
Mm.
along, dancing sexy with Shakira.
As she should.
Ay,
I know
me
she's so funny.
engreída. I love her so
I know I
much.
was watching her dance to her and I was but
Like
it's so
looking back like this,
adorable.
like
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, you're so flippin' cute. So she was my like MVP. Carajo, this light keeps wanting to turn off. So I'm just gonna be mysterious.
I
But
love it.
they were just all amazing. Like the Latino artist, Doja Cat. I love that song, but she scares me now and she hates her
Hmm.
fans supposedly. But like everyone was so
Wow.
good. Yeah, but in
Wait,
sync.
is she the
Oh
one that got hit in the at the concert,
no, that
Doja
was
Cat?
Olivia
Oh,
Rodrigo,
okay.
who I love too. But like
Mm.
Doja Cat's the one with the dancers that are covered in blood. Like I get like there's artisticness
Yeah.
behind everything. I understand, but like lately her Instagram and her whole vibe has switched from like pink and girly to like I'm the demon himself. And it could be very well like the weekend when he like was
I
trying
was just
to
gonna say
emulate,
that.
like plastic surgery in Hollywood and blah 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 blah. And okay, like if I was more arty, I would probably appreciate it, but it gives me
Hmm.
like scary, like, ugh. And I don't like
Hmm.
when artists are mean to their fans.
No, I don't. Yeah, and it makes you wonder what's going on. Are you possessed?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but
And
there's
like you
no
said, it's
denying.
artistic. I get it.
Yeah,
Artistic, like they need to get this out of them or whatever. But
yeah,
it's weird. It's just
yeah.
and not in a good way. It doesn't make me feel right.
It doesn't,
Like I feel like I
yeah.
have to go to church after.
That's how it reminds me of how I used to feel listening to Marilyn Manson's album.
Yeah, exactly. And to each its own. Everybody has their own preferences, and I respect that. But for
Yeah,
me, I just feel like I shouldn't be watching this.
yeah, yeah. And it's like, I just think of like being on my period. Honestly, when I
Yeah,
see
it's so
Doja Cat,
disturbing.
everyone's just covered. Ew. Sorry, TMI. But
Oh
yeah,
God,
so
no. Mm.
amazing. Oh, and there's a theory. Okay, back to
Hmm.
NSYNC because I'm still
No.
not like they're
Well,
toying with us. But
of
like,
course.
you know how there's a writer strike happening and you're not allowed to talk about movies
Hmm.
or TV or anything? I
Hmm.
think it's just mostly movies. No, I think it's
Hmm.
TV too. But so you know how JT is Branch in the Trolls movie and how they're
Hmm.
going to be releasing Trolls 3.
Hmm.
They're probably like using they're able to promote the movie without really having to promote the movie, ergo not violating anything
Hmm.
and getting the buzz from the boys because they all are going to apparently have a role in the movie too. Because
oh.
Branch reunites with his band members in this. I love
Oh,
Trolls. I'm sorry.
oh no,
Like,
I love trolls too.
like I
I'm
can
like a
recite
troll
the whole
fanatic.
movies with them. Like I just absolutely love that. And
Hmm.
Angel loves Trolls too. So like
Oh, I love it.
so there I'm thinking like maybe we're all just gonna like maybe they're not gonna go on tour. I don't know. But like
Hmm.
I this is more like believable. They're trying to use the movie, the industry is trying to use the heat coming off of them
Hmm.
reuniting for their movie. So I mean
Dang.
I just
That
I
would be
still want a
amazing
tour.
though if they somehow announced it in the movie and it was like,
At the end, at the credits, like
yes,
PS.
exactly. Oh, that would be phenomenal, you
All I
know?
know is I'm gonna start a GoFundMe now because I don't care what it costs.
You're like, I'm going.
Because back in 2000, I think I paid over $200, and that was like, whoa, that's expensive for lower
Hmm.
level. So it just
Totally.
that was back then.
Hmm. Oh, I could believe it. And imagine,
Mm.
I don't know, like you said, I think you said on your Instagram post, that's like it's gonna be like Taylor Swift status, if not more.
Yeah, because we're all ready. We're
Hmm.
all ready, and they're laughing at us. They're like, "Oh,
Oh,
you guys
totally.
still
They
love
know.
us."
For real, they know people are gonna pay whatever it is to see them.
Yeah,
It's in sync,
they're
you
very
know?
right.
Gosh, I swear they're epic though, and
Oh,
I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. And this writer strike needs to stop.
I know.
I'm
I'm
sick of
just
hearing about it.
Yeah, I am too. I
I
mean,
get
I
it, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just too much. It's been going on for too long. I don't even know when it started.
yeah,
And
it's
it's
been
crazy
going
how you
on.
can't say this or that because of that. I mean, Drew Barrymore, I'm like, okay, this is a hot
But
mess.
did I understand correctly? Like because I saw her post,
Mhm.
is she returning to her talk show?
It made it seem like she was, and
But she's in solidarity with the writers. Like, I don't get
she
it.
exactly. But at the same time, like I believe she's thinking of it like, okay, it's not just me
Mhm. Oh, yeah,
that
yeah.
is
I love
standing in
her.
solidarity, but I have a whole staff that has families they need to feed. And without us filming, like they dealt with this during COVID, she's dealt
Yeah.
with this whole thing. But with this, it's just different. And it's not, for me, I feel like when celebrities, it's kind of, humorous to hear celebrities talk about, oh, like Mandy Moore, like saying, I got a check one time that was only 15 cents or something like that. And it's just like, yeah, Mandy, but how much do you have in your bank account?
Mm,
Okay. The people that are working on set, the people that are setting up things, people, all the behind the scenes people, those are the people that really we should be hearing their voices, not
I,
celebrities that have, you know, my whole lifetime from the time I started working until now, they already have that in their account. And then
mm,
sometimes five. Okay, I don't need to hear from you people. I need to hear from the people that are actually suffering. And to me, it seems like these writers are like, or whoever these, companies are or whatever that don't want to give in. I don't know. They're standing their ground big time. And who knows if they're ever going to come to a freaking, you know, agreement. I don't know. I'm
I
just glad
guess
I got Big Brother
I know. I
because
know. Oof.
I was going to be pissed if they ruined my summer. So, anyways, that being said, shall we start? Oh, wait, where'd you go? I didn't hear you.
I said, oh, because I whispered.
Oh,
Excited. Can you hear
I'm
me?
like, where'd you? I can, oh my gosh, ASMR. So, on the last Fridays with Neen, we talked about cheating, and we talked,
We did
we
chalk.
talked and chopped it up
Hmm.
about, just cheating in general, like the different types of cheating, stuff like that. But I want to, like, for just a second, talk about the other end as far as, is cheating ever okay?
Hmm.
Because I do feel like there's a lot of people in this world that feel like it isn't, you know, as humans, we're
Built to
not
be
born to be monogamous.
monogamous. Yeah.
And how do you feel about that? Do you believe there's some truth to it? Or do you feel like it just depends on the person?
I think it depends on the person because clearly I've been with people that don't believe in monogamy in the end.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I have always been like, if I'm in a relationship with someone, I'm in a relationship with someone. And like,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not happy, then there's the door. Like we need to part.
Completely.
But
Mm-hmm.
like, for example, like me and Angel are gonna be married 1 year in November. Damn,
Mm-hmm.
that flew.
For real.
She's my person. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
like it for me. So like, I
Exactly.
feel like we were supposed to come together.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you find whoever you're supposed to be with, like if you're lucky enough
Mm-hmm.
and you are able to live your life happily and like be best friends and all this other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like I think I believe that monogamy is a thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is. But if you have an agreement, like if you're someone that you're like, no, I can't commit, like I need to be with different people, I'm fluid, I'm,
Right.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you need to make sure that the person that you're in a quote unquote relationship with is in agreement. And then that's
Mm-hmm.
still real, like because you
Yeah.
guys both agree to that. Both
Mm-hmm.
have to say yes, not just one side,
Exactly.
not just in secret. So,
Yeah, and like if you set up a plan, be like, okay, we're going to invite someone else into the bedroom one night,
hmm,
right? A lot of times I feel like people just want to try things, but I
hmm,
think there has to be strict guidelines that are written out. I would never do it. I could never do that. But some people do. and there should be strict guidelines because a lot of times you realize, okay, let's bring a third person in, and then you may not be down with it, but your partner may be all about it. And we've heard stories where people are like, oh man, I felt like I was turned on or attracted with the other person than my own partner.
Mm-hmm.
And that just creates a bigger mess, right?
I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, and I think that like you said, I feel like when you find the person that you're meant to be with and like it's different. When you've been through relationships and you've been with people and it's just not working out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could see where, you could have doubt, you could feel as though you're never going to find someone, but when you do, I feel like your perspective changes a lot and it makes monogamy more like you can understand it more, the
Mm-hmm.
reasoning behind it, because if you find that person, you shouldn't want to have to search anymore.
Agreed. And that's
You
how
know?
I feel. Like that's
Yeah.
precisely it. Like I feel fortunate enough to
Hmm.
have found the person that I'm supposed to be with.
Exactly. And that's how I feel with Tony. I feel like for me, he is the epitome of everything that I've wanted and then some. And I'm completely satisfied in every aspect of our relationship. And of course, it's not perfect, but when it's not perfect on those moments, we know how to work through it and not let that affect us, days to, days to come, and still revisit that. And then it festers and we have issues. We know how to get through those things, and I think that's what it should be about.
And
Right. And
and
I hope for a lot of people they could find that.
no, definitely. And I'm sure you're going to touch on this, and I think you did last time too, but you know how yeah, you did. You know how we both do this where we flirt with our partner and
Hmm.
vice versa. I feel like that's
Right.
so important, and
Oh,
like
completely.
the attraction needs to be there. And you say that I'm constantly hitting on Angel. Yes, I
Hmm.
am. Like, you can't walk past her without hitting on her, but like you're the same to Tony and
Hmm.
vice versa. And I love that. I love when you like post a cute picture and you're like hubba, like I
Hmm.
can feel the
Yeah.
passion and
Oh yeah,
like
because I'm so attracted to him.
right.
Like I'm like, hello. And he's
Yeah.
always like, stop. And I know he loves it. But you
Hmm.
know what's funny? And I mean, I've never told anybody this, but Tony tells me that he loves me more than I love him.
I don't believe that. I think
And
you
it's
love
not
him
true.
so no, he does. I think it's equal because that
Yes.
man loves the shit out of you, but you
Hmm.
love him and you're such a good woman to him. Like, are you
Hmm.
kidding me? Like,
Thank
no.
you. Yeah, I think with me, I'm more subtle when it comes to things. Like Tony's a lot more affectionate, a lot more hands
He's
on
a
to where he
woman. He's
shows.
the woman in the
Yeah.
relationship.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Whereas I'm a little bit more just reserved,
Hmm.
but there comes a time and place where I'm not. And I think he kind of is taken back sometimes, like, well, where'd this come from? And but I do like to be flirtatious, especially when we're by ourselves. I think too, because when I'm at home,
Hmm.
like with my mom, I always kind of feel weird about being that way.
Yeah, you're not
So
gonna
it's
smack him on
different.
the ass in front of your mom. I'm not gonna
Exactly. If
smack
I'm around my
Angel.
friends, it's
Yeah,
different,
it's
but
different.
around family, it's just awkward.
So
You
would you
know?
think that it would be different if you guys weren't there? Like if
Oh,
you and but
completely.
like with the baby? Like
Yeah, I think it's important to still show your child affect that her parents show affection towards one another. And, obviously not like for me, not Courtney Kardashian status, right? And Travis
ugh.
Barker. It's like too much. I don't need to see my parents sucking face, like with tongue and everything. Like I don't need to see that. But I do want to show Presley that it's important to show affection. It's important to, you know, for her to see us flirt with one another,
Yeah.
for even if Tony comes and like, I don't know, like slaps me on the butt or whatever, to me, that's not a big deal. Like, I feel like she should understand that when you're married, okay, that's a different. When you're married, there's a comfort level and there's a beauty in being able to express yourself with your partner. And you
Hmm.
should want that. And it should still be alive, even though your kids are around, your parents are around. It should still be there because that's what's going to take you through those years when you are empty nesters.
Hmm.
And I think that's the problem is sometimes when parents or wives or husbands stop that because they're so involved in their kids, that they lose that. And then once they are empty nesters, they don't have anything in common anymore, or that comfortableness of being able to express yourself or show affection. It's hard to get back. That flame is like
Yeah.
fizzled.
Yeah, because I, n- s- I'm thinking in relationships past, like when
Hmm.
things have been dormant for a while, you almost feel like the other person's a stranger. Like even like the
Right.
act of like, I hate saying making out, but like making, you're like, who are you? Get away from me. Ew. Like,
Okay.
don't look at
Hmm.
me.
Yeah.
It feels weird.
It does. Like, and because even like, and the thing is like, if you guys haven't shown affection or love, or you haven't kissed or whatever it is in a minute, there should be things inside of you where you're like, okay, you want to, like, it should intensify. Like, and you should see
Yeah,
like there's like a, oh, like you're like a magnet, like you need like a cheetah. You know what I mean? That's how it
definitely.
should be. It
Hmm.
shouldn't be to where you're like, oh, it's no big deal. I could do without it.
Or you feel weird approaching them to kiss them.
Yes,
That's the
exactly.
worst.
Hmm. Completely. No, I agree. So I'm just going to go through these real quick, and you just tell me and I'll give my 2 cents on what I think about it. So according to Glamour Online, they gave a few instances about when maybe people think it might be okay to cheat. And in my opinion, it's never okay to cheat. Honestly, for me, I feel like there's times in relationships though where maybe people feel like it's justified due to the circumstances of what you're going through at that moment. Every relationships has ebbs and flows, and there's always going to be times where maybe you guys aren't seeing eye to eye. But when
Hmm.
you're committed and you've made that commitment, whether you're married or you're not,
Hmm.
for me, there's no reason to have an excuse to do something like this. I say you should just leave,
Agreed.
right? So, according to Glamour, they say number one, people say, oh, well, he cheated on you or she cheated on you. So now it's okay for me to go and get that so called revenge. I don't want to say, I don't know. When I say it
Revenge
different,
F.
yeah, thank you. It just doesn't come out very well when I
I
just
know.
have to say it. So this so-called tit for tat situation,
Mm,
right? It just doesn't sit well with me. The old saying of two wrongs don't make a right
agreed.
is something I stand by, even though I know it may feel like in that moment, to toy with that idea might be something that you might want to do because you feel horrible in that moment for maybe being betrayed,
Hmm.
right? But it doesn't, it actually just makes the relationship even worse, and it makes your connection more severed,
Hmm.
right? I
I
mean, I think
agree.
we're both on the same page about that.
Definitely, because I had opportunity to do the same and I
Hmm.
just couldn't go through with it, like it doesn't
No,
feel it doesn't align with who I am. Like I
right.
can't
No,
do it.
exactly. I wouldn't be able to live. I would be able to live with myself, but it's just one of those things that I'd have to tell them the truth,
Of
you
course,
know?
because that has a way of being real ugly real quick. Try to
Hmm.
keep it secret.
Absolutely. So remember that episode of Friends where they went around, they were in the coffee shop and they were all talking about their celebrity crushes.
Okay.
And I believe it was Monica and Chandler. I could be wrong, but they had a list of celebrities that they said that that was their pass. If, had they happened
Ross and
to,
Rachel.
okay, it was Rosh, what is wrong with me? Ross and Rachel. And they had a list of celebrities that if they came across them one day or at a party and they, you know, okay, like this is their one time to hook up with them, is it
Yep.
okay?
And
So if Kara, okay, who's Kara's favorite?
she refuses to say, but like when we first got together, she'll get mad 'cause she's like, "No, I don't like her."
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna throw one out there.
Mm-hmm.
What's that bony girl's name? What's that name that everyone thinks is hot? That actress,
Um,
Kate
uh,
Blanchett.
oh, Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So she came in and, Karen and her met at a bar and you couldn't go because I don't know what. And she's like, oh my gosh, you'll never guess who I ran into. It was Kate Blanchett. I don't know, she was like flirting with me. And I don't know, like she's like insinuating that maybe we should hook up. What would you? I don't know, because some people are like, dang, this might be my only chance.
I would be okay with it if I could go.
Oh, snap. Okay, stop it. Where's my whiskey? I need a drink for this one. Okay, wait. So then how about you? Would you think Kara would be okay?
No,
Who's
we've
your
talked about
crush?
it. Kristen Stewart.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Kara's like, no,
She's like,
absolutely
she
not.
goes, I wouldn't feel it. She goes, no, I don't want to see you with anyone else. And I'm like, okay, then I won't.
Oh man,
'Cause
okay. But Steph's like, if I watch.
oh my God, I can't tell her I said that. That's for me. See, Angel's very angelic, but like
Yeah.
clearly I'm not. I debated saying the
That's
truth
that's
online.
I mean, it's one of those things though. It's celebrities and it's just like for me, hell I say hell no for Tony. Honestly, I don't know who his crush is.
Why do I want to say it's the hot girl from Wayne's World?
He does
Tia
not like
Carrera.
her. He does
What?
not like her. He gets irritated by her. If I had to pick one person, I would have to say Gal Gadot.
That's hot.
And quite
You
frankly,
wouldn't want to watch.
I don't know. For me, she's
I'd be
beautiful.
sitting there with popcorn.
For me, she's beautiful, but there's something about her I just don't
She's
like. I
too
don't know what it
tall.
is. Yeah, it's something. But I mean, for me, that's what but yeah, I'd be like, hell no. No. Never. Okay.
Really? Okay, what if
Yeah.
Ed Kowalczyk walked into a bar and he's got that goatee that has pepper, salt and pepper up in there, okay? And he's wearing the long sleeve shirt that hangs off the back just so, shades, chain,
Ooh.
his jewelry, because he looks good in jewelry,
Mm-hmm.
jeans that hang off the butt slightly. He
Steph.
walks in, buys you a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your wing woman, so I
Mm-hmm.
support you in whatever you do. Like, you want to say you're with me, you're with me. Like,
Uh-huh. I can't with
I'm not
you.
here right now, like, or do you want me recording? Like, I don't know, like live streaming it.
I can't with you right now. I can't.
But you're
Hopefully he
gonna,
doesn't hear this until after the concert. Just
I
kidding,
know, I
just
know,
kidding.
I know. Tony, I
Um
love you. But really,
Yeah, I honestly don't think I would do it.
see, see,
Yeah.
me
Mm-mm.
either. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
I
telling
can't.
you,
Even if I have a dream, which honestly, and honest to God truth, I have never had a dream. And I think this is telling of how much I love Tony because in past relationships, I have had dreams, like even sex dreams, where it's just like, or that dream where you kiss someone and oh my
it
God, you're
feels
like, oh
so
my God.
real.
Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, I just cheated on. You know what I mean?
Wait,
I have never had that while being with Tony.
I have never had a dream of being with anyone else but Angel
Hmm.
during the whole, we're gonna be together 6 years in
Hmm.
January.
Yeah.
Never. But tell me why she had she had the cutest dream, and it's not cute.
Hmm.
I woke up and she was like, I had a nightmare. And I'm like, and she said it like that. And I go, honey,
Uh-huh.
what happened? She goes, I had a nightmare that you kissed somebody named Scoop.
Scoop.
Scoop. But the way she said Scoop, that you went off with somebody named Scoop.
Oh my God, who the hell's Scoop? Imagine all of a sudden randomly you meet someone named Scoop and
I
Kara's like,
know. I died. She's so cute, but it's like I can't like she's everything to me. Like
yeah.
like Daddy Yankee could come knocking on my door. I'd be like,
Hmm.
"Sir, are you lost?" Like he's beautiful, but
Sir, are
like
you
I
lost?
don't want to like be with
Okay.
him.
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart, she's always been like the whole
Hmm.
Alanis Morissette. No, I wouldn't because I
Yeah,
have all of them in one and my beautiful blonde
exactly.
princess. Like
Hmm. No,
she's
for
it for
real.
me.
Yeah, no, same here. And I know I joke with Tony here and there, especially about Ed, but never in a million years. There's like, take me back to my past relationships, we might have a different
Different
answer.
scenario. But see,
Okay?
I think we answered your question, your
Hmm.
original musings,
Yeah,
because we're fulfilled. We're we
completely.
we're with our people. Like
Hmm.
we could she could throw on a wig or whatever and pretend to be
Hmm.
Bella from Twilight and it would be like amazing. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
everything.
exactly.
Tony's everything for you. He could
Hmm.
if he threw on Lakini's juice and like served you some wine with
Oh,
candles and like
stop it.
steam, what would you do? Like, come on.
Oh
Because we
man.
have our fantasies and everything in one with our partners.
Yes, completely. Yeah, he's everything and then some. Like honestly, yeah. I'm good to go forever. And even, and like I even said, like we talked about on the Fridays with Neen about like people when they pass and, if I'm by myself, would I remarry or would I whatever? Honestly, would be okay with my life if Tony passed before me. I would totally be okay with just being alone and living my life to the fullest, traveling, doing me versus looking for something that I already had. Like to me, nothing will ever top that,
So you
you
don't
know?
believe in the three great loves?
No. I used to feel like when you found it, you found it. And I don't feel like there's any real necessary reason for me to look for that after, I
Mm-hmm.
already found what I wanted in every aspect with Tony, you know? And it's possible, I do think that maybe, each stage of your life, your 20s, your 50s, and maybe your 80s at the senior home, maybe, each one brings something different to the plate. Um, but yeah, I feel like I've never been alone. Like I've never lived on my own, like or like had my own apartment, nothing like that. And
Mm-hmm.
God forbid if anything were to ever happen to Tony, I think I would just embrace that and just like, I don't know, Mrs. Roper my apartment out. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
make
Mm-hmm.
it exactly how I want, live my best life with my grandchildren and just be that cool grandma,
Mm-hmm.
and I totally be okay with that.
So, if God forbid you were to go first,
Hmm.
would you want him to
Hell
eventually?
no.
Okay, because see, for me, I would want Angel to eventually, not some
Mhm.
hoe rubbing her shoulder saying she would
Mhm.
want you to move on at my
Right.
wake. Not that, but
Yeah.
like some time has passed. I would
Mhm.
want her to find companionship and
Mhm.
like, and if I don't like the
Yeah.
skank, I will come haunt them. But like, you know what I mean? I would want like the companionship for her. I don't know, like I have morbid thoughts at night,
Mhm. We
and
all do, I
yeah,
think.
and I am scared, you know? I
Mhm.
mean, theoretically, like you would think, okay, our partners are older than us, so
Mhm.
like if we take care of ourselves and don't
Mhm.
get hit by a bus, they may
Right.
go before us, but
Mhm.
I could step off a curb and be
Yeah.
like taken
Exactly.
out too. So it's
Mhm.
nothing's really promised. But like if
Mhm.
I lose her, I don't know that I would want to be with anyone else after. Like
Yeah.
I understand where you're coming from.
And I think there's like, I mean, I know I answered real quick about Tony, and that was just my jealousy coming out. And I don't really get jealous, but that kind of stuff really makes,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like, that's the one thing is like, I don't want to imagine a life without him,
Mm-hmm.
and when I do think of that, it breaks my heart. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because also I look at my mom and how, we all know that's inevitable, like we've talked about before, but there's a sadness that I see, even when I see my mom in her bed by herself,
Mm-hmm.
and for 40, almost 40 years or whatever, she always had him by her side. And so it's sad. It's heartbreaking, and I don't want to see that for myself and I don't want to see that for him. And I know for him, he has like talked about that with me. And I know for him, he said he would never. That's not even in him. He would just like, he would be okay with just being alone. Right. But I do think that in time, like, I don't know, like, you know, companionship is important. And I think that it's not all about like sex, basically, when you're older. It's more just having that person next to you and you know playing like cards with them or watching a movie. It's different. Love takes a different form, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't know, for him I would want him to be happy and I wouldn't want him per se to be by himself. But we've already talked about that and I did tell him, though, I said, you know really use your best judgment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just, like you said, I don't need it some skank,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, so kind of went off on a tangent on that one. But the last one that I'm going to bring up is the oh, they'll never find out. Say you're on a solo trip to France backpacking, I don't know, through, I don't know what. Kind of like actually it makes me think of Brenda in 90210, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
she goes to France and she meets what's his name? It's not
Oh,
Spielberg.
Wait, are you talking about when she went with Donna or
With
later
Donna.
on?
With
Okay.
Donna.
Reek.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you're dating someone at home or
Ugh.
whatever, and you meet someone and you're lonely, or
Mm-mm.
maybe had a few too many drinks, and
Mm-mm.
you think, oh, what's one night? Rick's not going to find out.
Nope.
Could you live with that?
No, my conscience would be like bitch slapping me every day, and I can't keep secrets. I wear everything on my face. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if I love and respect you, like, I'm gonna tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I would want
Yes,
to think that I respect my partner, right? The person
completely.
that I'm with. So
Mm-hmm.
the guilt would eat me alive.
Right. Yeah,
I
it
don't
would
know
eat
how
me
people
alive.
can cheat. Like, I don't understand. There's so many layers that you have to worry about. You have to worry about your phone, your GPS, your everything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just
Oh
no. I
yeah.
can't lie.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Yeah.
physically lie.
Because, I feel, and I think I talked about this in the last episode or whatever, but I do feel that when you have sex with someone, even if you've just met them,
Hmm.
there is a spiritual, emotional, and chemical thing that happens between two people.
Hmm.
And it more so is intensified and felt in the woman versus the man, I feel. Because I feel
Right.
like a man could just do it and move on and not have
Exactly.
any like,
I've always
you're not
felt
thinking
that.
about. Yeah, but with the woman, you get attached. No matter how many times you say, "Oh, I don't care," there is still something that connects you to that person. Like literally, there's DNA being swapped.
Ew.
Okay.
But yes, there's insertion happening.
Yes,
I
exactly.
mean, yeah,
So,
but if it's a straight, yeah, yeah.
right, but there's still things, this level of connection that is beyond, like, a normal, just like, oh, like kiss and whatever, right?
Oh my
And I
God.
don't think that's something that you can really get past. And when you do something like this, I always say, like, moments like this is where the devil pops up. Okay, you get pregnant, or I don't know, an STD happens, I don't know, whatever it may be, right? And then you go back to your wife. Okay. Okay, I'm going to tell you this real quick. There was an episode, 90 Day Fiance,
Hmm.
right? So there's this couple, Kalani and I can't remember his name, but he's from Samoa, right?
Okay.
He goes to Samoa to visit his family. He leaves his wife and kids at home because she can't come. Well, on this new season, she talks about how he cheated on her. And the way he found out was that he called her via video chat, and she's looking at him, and he tells her she goes, "What's wrong with your tongue?" Because his tongue was like white as this piece of paper, right? And he goes, "I don't know. My tongue is like, there's something wrong with it." She's like, "You have thrush.
Ew.
Yeah, you have a yeast infection." And then he
Ew.
goes, she goes, "The only way you could get that." And then he goes, and he's just looking at, she goes, I guess he didn't say anything. And she goes, "It's by having sex with someone that has a yeast infection, or going down on someone that has a yeast infection." So then he basically confesses that he went to a bar, he got drunk, and he had, either a girl went down on him or vice versa, I can't remember, and he caught a yeast infection from her.
Because that's karma.
See, and that's what I'm saying, is that you try to be slick in another country thinking no one's going to say anything, no one's going to find out, but see,
That
look,
is
your
so
tongue's white,
foul.
and people, you know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't matter. Like Khloe Kardashian always says, whatever happens in the dark will eventually come to light.
Oh, Chloe's just so wise, damn it.
Yeah, and it's one of the best quotes I've ever heard her say, because it is so true. Because even if you are wondering things, you know, don't search for it, because it will eventually pop up in more ways than one. It will present itself to you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You may find receipts just hanging out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like that whole idea of thinking that your partner will never find out is just, you're dreaming.
You are, because I don't think I've ever heard of anyone in the history of cheating get
Hmm.
away with it.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm going to just leave it at that, because that's true. I feel like cheating is wrong. Okay. And it's to each its own. If you could live your life, cheat, do whatever, And people have different setups. I'm not here to say that if you're in a relationship where maybe you're unhappy, and maybe your partner knows,
Mhm.
and you have a mutual understanding, or this is how, maybe your life is never going to be the way you want it, and you found something in someone, and maybe, you can never be together. I don't know. But everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own reason, right? For
Right.
me, and I know for you, our own personal reasons, we don't believe in it. We don't think it's right. And like you said, I feel karma's a bitch. And, um, just don't do to others that you wouldn't want done to you. And I think that's kind of like the golden rule when it comes to cheating,
Mhm.
is that the things that you're doing,
Mhm.
right? Even if you think your partner like deserves it or you're not happy, would you be okay if the tables were turned and you found out that they were doing the same thing?
Mm, they never are.
Right.
If you
Exactly.
dare move on or
Right?
dare not be affected, because cheating is a cry for fucking attention,
It
okay?
is. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then if you don't give a shit, when you
Mhm.
finally reach the "I don't give a shit,"
Mhm.
they don't
Yeah.
like that.
Right. Exactly. No,
So,
it's
yeah.
true. I mean, we've seen it all.
Mhm.
But before we end our session real quick, Steph, we got a couple questions from listeners. Would you care sharing them with us? And we could talk about it.
Me, 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 me. Yes. Pull them
Thank
up
you.
right here. So, the first one, I don't see a name, but we love
Yeah, I
you
don't
and
see
thank you
one
for
either.
writing in. So, hey guys, I love your podcast. Thank you.
Mhm.
I have a question. I found out that my girlfriend still talks to her ex randomly online and via text. Excuse me. She says it's innocent and there is nothing, but I don't feel comfy with that. I don't either. Do
Yeah.
you think it's ever okay to stay in touch or contact with an ex? Fuck no. So that's the first one. That's my answer.
Yeah. I
Mean.
no.
Can you imagine? I just got my blood boiling just now.
For real, because I just imagined like being this person.
Like
And
picking up Tony's phone and saying, who's so and so? They just texted you. Ooh, I would
hell
pull
no.
each hair out of his head for you.
And that's the thing is yeah, I don't believe in that. I
Mm-mm.
I think it's hard when you have children and you're married, right?
That's
But
an yeah.
but, you know, and to eat, like I said, to each its own. Okay. Each person has their own dynamic with their ex, and some relationships and rather like amicable, right? All is good,
Yes.
you want that other person to get a relationship because then it leaves you like happy, and I'm in the clear and I could be happy for them. We're done, right? But then when it doesn't end well, and maybe you had to hightail it out of there and they're still being crazy or
Clingy.
vindictive,
Mm,
no. And I feel like a lot of times women or men still hold on, and they use their children as a way to still have contact with
mm,
their ex. And that's the part that I think it's hard when they're little, but there are ways around it. But when your kids are older, there really is no reason to be talking to your ex.
no.
If you've divorced and you've severed ties, there's nothing holding you two together. Out of respect for your new spouse, wife, husband, partner, whatever, or just your new girlfriend, I don't think there should be any communication. I don't think that's right at
Like
all.
not even a happy birthday.
No, I don't. I don't think so. Because you don't know the feelings of the other person.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know they're not holding on to something or holding on to hope, or, trying to put some, like, I don't know, um, like a curse on you, hoping that you croak so you could have them back. Like, you just don't know what people's intentions are.
Right.
And I just don't think that, and I think too, like, especially if it's like on Facebook or
Ugh.
Instagram, like, I wouldn't have them as a friend. And I don't care if it's even like a friend from a long time ago. I feel like
Ew.
exes are just, they're exes for a reason, like we all have heard in the past. And I don't think it's healthy. And I don't think that um, they need to know anything about your life,
Hmm. I
right?
agree.
Because we've all been there where we've looked up our exes because we're nosy and we want to see if their profile's public, just so we could sit there and be like, okay, we've all done it, right?
Yeah.
But I don't need someone knowing what we're doing, where we live, where, you know what I mean?
No, no, there's no reason. Like, focus on your life and yeah, that's
Mhm,
all. Like, no, I agree. I would not be okay if
mhm,
Angel was in communication with any sort of ex and vice
mhm.
versa. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
disrespect her like that. Like, you know that like with my exes, like I was always close to their families
Mhm,
and it sucks. Like I wish that you could keep the family after, but you
mhm.
can't.
Right.
And, I still very much care for my ex's family, both of them,
Mhm.
both of their families. And it sucks, but out of respect to my wife, like I'm not gonna go like clubbing,
Right.
or
Exactly.
whatever. And
And
she'd be
that's
totally
hard.
supportive. Like she'd be like, no, I'll
Of
go.
course.
But like I
Mhm.
couldn't do that. It just doesn't.
No. And it's hard, especially when you do have a good rapport or, a good relationship with your in-laws.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at your mom and your grandma and
Mm-hmm.
your family in Peru, right? Like
Yeah.
that's hard because and I'm sure it was just as hard for your mom, if not harder than, you know what I mean? It's a sticky situation, but then you think of the new spouse and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's not fair either,
Right.
because now they're going to constantly be comparing, right? And no one wants to be compared to an ex-wife, you know? And I feel like a person is an ex for a reason, and your past is your past for a reason. You got to leave them there.
But I'm gonna quote Sex and the City again. Like Carrie Bradshaw said it best. Like when you love someone,
Hmm.
okay, you're passionately in love with someone and you're with that person for X amount of years, time.
Hmm.
Then you break up,
Hmm.
time passes. Where does that love go?
Yeah.
And then
True.
Miranda chimed in with to their next partner, which very true.
Hmm.
But where does your love you guys loved each other at one point. So
Hmm.
I shared this with Angel. I was like, I wish I was mature enough to have I wish that all parties were mature enough to be cool, civil.
Hmm.
Like, hey, cuz oh,
Yeah.
but I like
Well,
25% of me feels that way and then the rest I can't do math.
yeah. See,
75% doesn't.
I think you have a very generous and forgiving heart. Like you're very much so like an it's okay. My dogs are crazy. You're very much so like you have a lot of empathy. You feel a lot of things and you feel um a lot even for your exes, even knowing the things that they did,
Yeah.
you still felt bad.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas a lot of people will be like, F you. I could give two shits if, that's how I am
Mhm.
because I have no desire to see any of them at all. Like I have no love for them. I have nothing. And it grosses me out,
Mhm.
right? But it's different. And, especially after knowing the things that transpired in your
Yeah.
relationship and you still have empathy, like I find that so like admirable because a lot of people aren't like that at all. And I think it's just that thing is like, okay, it didn't work out between us. So you know what? I want you to have a good life. I want you to be happy. And it just didn't work out. So let's go our separate ways.
Yeah.
If you randomly run into them in a store, you could say hi.
Yeah.
You don't have to be all awkward, right? And I think that's why it's important when you end a relationship, if you cared enough about that relationship and, have make sure to have closure, you
Mhm.
know,
That's
come clean
very,
with things that you do,
very
you know,
true.
even if it's going to hurt the person, but have that closure. And guys are infamous for not giving closure.
Ugh.
And I don't want to put it on guys, but I feel like you hear that a lot where they leave the girl hanging and they don't have the decency to at least tell them why they left.
Mhm.
And for example, um, I heard a story where this guy went on vacation with his wife. Okay, they went on a vacation. The wife's so excited. And while they're on an excursion, he hands her the divorce papers. Who does that? See, to
Ugh.
me, only a man would do that. And I don't want to be sexist and say that, but I really feel like there is an attachment that they don't have that women have, like how you are and how you feel you just want good for them, even though maybe they hurt you. Guys are like, I don't care
On to the
here.
next.
Yeah, exactly. And, that's why I say with this guy, and thank you so much for your question. The thing for me is that I feel like if they can't, and this doesn't even have to be for an ex, if your spouse or your partner is following someone or has befriended someone or is having a conversation with someone that you don't feel comfortable with, okay, that you yourself feel like in your heart that you just don't like it, and you go to your partner and say, I don't like that, that should be enough for them to cut ties. And there should be no questions asked.
No, I agree.
Because,
If you're expressing your desire to your
mhm,
spouse,
yeah,
explaining why
mhm,
this is important to
exactly.
you
And
or
it's
hurtful
valid.
to you. Yeah.
Right. I don't think there should be any questions. And it's your responsibility to then, if you have to, explain that to the person that you need to cut ties with. This is why I respect my wife. I love my wife. I love my partner. And I'm sorry, but we can no longer continue. You know, in regards to Carrie Bradshaw and what she said, like I do feel like sometimes though, like I always say, there's certain seasons for certain types of loves. And that love does go somewhere, but was it really love? Or was it
Mhm.
infatuation and
Mhm.
or lust? Because I think it's very hard sometimes to decipher which one it is because you're so caught up in the moment. But when you find a Kara, when you find a
Yeah.
Tony, then you realize, okay, it wasn't that before.
Mhm.
It was a moment in time that, yes, for that moment, I love them or I showed love,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was true, real, in my opinion. I don't feel like it was true, real love because love shouldn't look like that, especially in the end.
Agreed.
So that's our take on that question. And thank you for that.
And we have
Yes, the
another.
last one.
Okay, so
Hmm.
both these gonna help here. So, hi
Aw.
ladies. I am loving your podcast, especially on my long commute. Thank
Aw.
you. Please let me know your thoughts on the following. My girlfriend and I have been together for a few years and our sex life sucks. In the beginning, it was amazing, but once we moved in, it just became less and less. She has no sex drive, says it's her birth control that leaves her dry and non sexual. I tell her
Yikes.
that maybe we need to seek other options because I am not okay with this. Sex isn't everything, but it is still a way to connect, and I find it a big part of a relationship. Help.
Aw, that makes me sad.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I don't know. I feel
Like, are they insinuating inviting a third person?
I right? That's a good question. I don't know though, but because I will say that birth control does a lot to your body.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And it can make you like sandpaper down there. Like, hey,
Mhm.
what's going on? You know what I mean?
And then
Like, is this
lube is
well
like,
empty?
but like lube is too much sometimes. You're just slipping and it's like a freaking water slide.
Oh yeah, and it's dangerous on many levels.
Yes. Oh my God. Did you ever try like the warming one?
Ooh, no, but I gave it to someone and it burnt them.
Was it me?
No. I gave it to a friend as a gift,
Uh-huh.
like a funny gift,
Yeah.
and both of them got burnt
Oh my
because of the
God.
friction intensified,
Yeah.
and they got like it literally was not good.
Yikes.
Yeah, I don't really like things that, you know, get hot or You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of good lubes out there, though, I'm sure, like water-based that, won't cause infections and stuff.
Stop it. Wait a minute. Did you just say water base?
Hmm.
Okay, so I thought that was a Filipino thing. So my Filipino
Oh.
ladies were joking and laughing and saying, "Oh, you just need some water base," and they were
Hmm.
clearly talking about sex and stuff at a
Uh-huh.
party. But I thought that's just what they like it was slang for it, and
Uh-huh.
that we thought it was so funny. Angel did too, but I
Uh-huh.
guess that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think some of them have some things in them that can cause infections, or it just makes you
Yikes!
feel really sticky down there.
Yeah.
And I know that there's some because I've been to a couple pleasure parties,
Hmm.
and the one that they have is water based.
Okay.
And it does, and it's, yeah, when I put it on my hand when she, sent it around the room, I put it on my hand and literally no stickiness. It was just like, yeah,
Slipping and sliding.
yeah, not too much slipping and sliding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in this situation, I just think that communication is key. But I think too that I want to say it's her, I don't want to say it's her fault, but if he's explaining this to her, and I think communication is the most important thing in a
Yeah.
situation like this, because you have to communicate with your partner. If it's just not happening and you're not saying anything, then that's your fault, right? But if
Agreed.
but if he's being honest with her and he's telling her I need more, or like what's wrong, right? Is there, and I think he even said like, maybe we need to seek other options, right? So he's trying to give her advice on how to change things up.
Yeah, it looks
And
like it.
it doesn't seem like she's responding.
No. So are you suggesting that like if he were to step out, like it would be understandable? Like, is this one of the times that it would be understandable?
Mm, I don't I don't think so. I think that if he's not happy, and like, how long do you think is a proper, like, okay, how long is I'm trying to think. What is a logical time for like a dry spell between a couple?
A few
Because,
months.
right? Because what if it's like a year?
Oh, then we're entering that territory where you're kind of like just roommates. And then you get that territory we were talking about earlier where then you guys just feel like strangers and it even feels weird to kiss.
Mhm.
And
Exactly.
kissing, I think, is more important. No,
Oh, completely. I
yeah,
think
because you're
so.
connecting and it's more
Mhm.
like, I don't know. If you, because there's couples that just, I remember hearing a line in a movie, was it Bridesmaids, where the funny blonde was like, he hasn't kissed me in years,
Mhm.
but like they'll like have sex.
Mhm.
Oh, that that
Hmm.
that felt like I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
How do you feel about that?
I think kissing's so important. Like I just would
Yeah.
feel like a piece of
Meat.
exactly.
Like, it's like, okay, 1, 2, let's get it done and I'm through.
Like you can just get a one of those, like if it's a man, you can just get one of those dolls that you
Mhm.
and then invite, and
Yeah.
if it's a woman, like fine, just
Mhm. Do what you got to do. And,
exactly. So like
you
at
know.
what so I that's the thing. So here's a perfect scenario where is cheating, like he's expressed it, and let's just we don't know how many times, we don't even know how he's done it,
Mhm.
really.
Right.
Like, have you sat your wife down and explained, "This is important to me.
Mhm.
We need to connect. We're not connecting.
Mhm.
Sex is an important part of a relationship to me." Okay.
Mhm.
Now, let's say he's done that a lot and she's just
Mhm.
not listening. Is it okay for him to step out or say to her, if you're not gonna, if you don't want to, I respect that,
Mhm.
but I need to fulfill my desires elsewhere then. Are
Mhm.
you gonna be okay? Like, I feel like
Mhm.
if you're gonna step out, just be honest. And if like this is a
Mhm.
conversation where, okay, you don't want to have sex, are you cool with him like
Mhm.
going elsewhere?
Yeah, and I think that's something that needs to be presented. Like,
Mhm.
I've talked to you. I've even maybe offered going to the doctors with you so we could figure out, is there something going on? Maybe you're going through menopause, right? Where maybe
Mhm.
your sex drive is really low and you just don't feel like doing it, right? But there's medications that can help with that. We see it on television all the time,
Yeah.
right? But you can't help but think that in his situation that maybe she's not attracted to him anymore, that maybe he thinks, oh, is she interested in someone else? Like, does someone else do something for her and she just doesn't want to be with me? And that, like you said, is his opportunity to tell her, you know what, I need this, and if I don't get it, then I am going to have to look elsewhere, because it isn't everything, but you don't have a relationship at that point. And it's never going to get better, because the longer you don't do it, the longer it becomes normal, and then you're like, it's weird to do it. And then
Yeah.
you're not going to want to suggest it. He's going to feel like he can't because he doesn't want to get rejected.
Right.
And I think that when your partner is talking to you about something like this, especially something as vulnerable as the topic of sex between a couple, I think that you have to give them credit, and you have to understand that it's not easy to talk to a partner about that,
No,
you
especially from a
know?
man.
Yes, exactly. And I
Like, if
just
he's
don't think
actually
that's
talking to
right.
you, yeah, if he's actually talking to you about it, he loves you. He doesn't wanna look
Yes.
elsewhere, I think.
Exactly, because for a man, that's very like, or like, what if the tables were turned and it was, the woman, and like maybe the man had, I don't know, issues in the bedroom or something. Like, there's ways to go around it, right?
Mhm.
But I think the thing is that if you're not able to connect on that level, maybe there's something physically wrong with you, or maybe there's a health issue, right? I think that it's so important to still show affection and love. Or if you can't perform, or if you can't do things because things aren't working down there,
Yeah.
like for the women, like there's not enough, I don't know, fluid, I don't know. Like the man, like you could also take care of your man in other ways.
True,
You
but
could also,
what if
uh-huh.
she's not someone that likes to? Because there's women out there that don't
Mhm.
like to service.
I don't know. I mean, they could use their hands.
Yeah.
Like the thing is like there's a way to romanticize your partner still, and show them that I want to, but there's something going on and I just can't right now, and it's nothing about you. But at that time, I think, like, I don't want to say there's an exception to this rule, but if your partner does cheat on you, you have no one to blame but yourself. It doesn't make it right. And but I can't sit here and blame him for doing it, for
Right.
going out and finding someone, because he's, as long as you've tried, as long as you've communicated and you've told them exactly how you feel and what you're lacking or what you're missing out on,
Mhm.
then you have
Precisely.
no freaking room to say anything. You can't go and tell your friends, I can't believe he cheated on me.
I
I can't
agree.
believe he did this, because you know what? He tried,
a
you
thousand
know?
percent.
So I think for him, I think the thing is just to be honest. And I think, being honest with your partner and just telling them exactly how you feel, what you expect in the bedroom, what you want, how frequently you would want it, because a lot of times I think couples, or women especially, feel like the men like could read their minds, and a lot of times, like, we can't read each other's mind. Like,
No,
you have to explain things to your partner sometimes. Sometimes men or women or partners in general need to be told things.
point
So,
blank.
so you can't just sit there and assume that they know what you want.
No, I again, totally, like you said, communication.
Mhm.
And also, is this like, has he always been sexual?
Mhm.
Like there, you gotta take that into consideration too, because then
Mhm.
if this is a new thing, like he developed, okay,
Mhm.
then we don't know her side, like
Right.
except for the birth control part. But if
Mhm.
he expressed to you, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that he has always been a sexual person and they used to
Mhm.
be sexual. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, and then, what was that?
My mom.
Okay. And so, she can't be all, "What?" Like, taken aback.
Mhm.
Like, this is
Exactly.
what you guys have always been like this. So and
Mhm.
he's expressing to you, like, he
Mhm.
actually said the words. So he's communicating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's doing everything he should be doing.
Exactly. He's in
I
the
mean,
right.
no, for real. And like you said, we don't know her side. We don't, maybe he's not that you are, but maybe he's a jerk. Or maybe
Hmm.
he's not doing thing. Maybe he's not cleaning up around the house. Or maybe she's been telling him things for a long time. I want this, I want that, this needs a change, whatever.
Oh,
And he's not
yeah.
doing it.
Do they
And
have kids?
exactly. There's so many things that could be factors in this, but I think communication is key. And I think that to me, there's no excuse in a relationship not to do it, not to have it,
Hmm.
except for there's certain reasons, obviously, if you can't. But two, we also have to understand people change. Like when you first meet each other, there's like fire, there's passion, like you can't wait to get your hands on each other, right? And then, you become comfortable with one another, and what may have been like 5, 6 times a day, or maybe a day or a week, it could go into maybe 5 times a month,
Hmm.
right? And maybe depending on your work schedule, like there's so many factors.
Stress. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, women go through menopause. They go even what is it called? Premenopause.
Perimenopause.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of factors that play into that as well. And also, women's sex drives go up and down depending on their age. When guys were in their 20s, they were like freaking rabbits, I'm sure. And they say, like, I don't know if it's like in their 30s or 40s, they kind of go into a lull, like it's
Hmm.
not as needed as much as it was when they were younger. And then you have this woman that's all like, ooh, And so with couples, I think it's just all about communicating. And if you can't do that, or you don't come to a compromise and you see that nothing's getting done, then, you got to do what's right for you. Because imagine living with someone for 40 years and for the past 30, sex has been non existent. That's miserable. Then you start feeling unloved. You start feeling just, you know, then you start seeking attention elsewhere,
Hmm.
and the first person that's like gives a wink,
Yeah.
you're
Hey,
like,
bad boy.
yeah.
Big boy.
And you're like, come here, I'm hungry. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
So that's our thoughts on that. Do you have
Hmm.
anything else, Steph, that you'd like to add?
Just want to echo communication. Keep, I mean, he's going to reach a point where he's going to get tired if she's not
Right.
listening. So if you
Hmm.
guys haven't explored therapy, or if she's not willing to go sit with a therapist, and because I think there with a third
Oh,
person, it could be
yes.
beneficial, and you could iron
Amazing.
out like something that works
Yeah.
for both. So I think he's
That is
doing
such a
everything.
genius thing too, Steph. Like, thank you for bringing that up because I feel like therapy is so important.
Hmm.
I mean, we've both been in therapy
Hmm.
for, different things and stuff, but it helps you see a perspective from someone that is not involved at
Hmm.
all. And they're looking and listening to you, and like couples therapy,
Hmm.
and to me, if Tony didn't want to go and I felt we needed to, I would be like, you need to come
Hmm.
because we need this. I feel like we need it. And if you love me, if you want this to work, then we need to do it.
Hmm.
It could only make it stronger. I mean, I feel like even if you don't have issues, sometimes it's still good to talk to someone and go to therapy and work through some things because things will come out,
Hmm. Agreed.
right? And there's no point in holding it in. And I think like even talking to a friend, talking to a family member, it's not the same as talking to a therapist.
They know what to ask,
Mhm.
what to circle back to. They
Mhm.
give homework.
Right.
So I think it's beneficial. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't remember if he said he mentioned therapy and she's not willing to go, but
Think so.
I would definitely,
Yeah,
yeah,
there are
I don't
sex
see
therapists
therapy.
out there,
Hmm.
you
Yeah, he
know?
doesn't mention therapy, so I would definitely
Mhm.
try to get to a happy medium on that at least, and then you can get
Yes.
the perspective. Like they'll give you homework. I mean, we could give you
Yeah.
homework too, but
Okay.
I
Don't
think
get us
we
started.
I think that like Neen has said, communication, and you're doing that.
Mhm.
So keep doing
Yeah.
it, but also before you get tired of doing it,
Mhm.
seek professional help.
Yeah. As long as you check off all of the things, that we're mentioning, but also you feel like you've crossed all your T's and dotted all your I's in this relationship. And if you feel at the end of the day, even after seeking therapy, because, there's some couples, some people just don't want to go and they're, no, I don't feel like I have to and I'm not going to. So if that's the case, that tells me that either you're done
Mm-hmm.
or you don't value this relationship enough to try something to see if it could make it better.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, that's to me, that's telling me a lot. Like, okay, then obviously you've checked out.
Mm-hmm.
So, those are all great things. I love that you brought that up because don't look down on therapy, people. Please
No,
don't.
no, it's
I
so
feel like guys a lot
valuable.
of times don't want to go to therapy. Like,
Especially, I'm so sorry to interrupt
mhm,
again, Neen, but like especially men from other cultures. I can speak
yes.
from the Latino
Mm-hmm.
standpoint. It's like, oh no, I won't. Why? You can go to therapy because clearly you're unhinged, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
don't need help. Like, I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
pay some quack to tell me, like, to look at an
Yes.
ink blot. And, it's more than a fucking ink blot.
Yeah, it is. Like, what could they tell me that I don't know myself?
Exactly. They're perfect. God forbid. But
No.
like, when you have a man like Tony who's got his feminine energy to him, I feel like he would be down, like he'd
No,
be like,
but
sure.
actually, I even brought it up to him. Not that we have issues, but
Mhm.
I had mentioned it to him. Like, I even like past trauma that you go through, maybe not even in your current relationship, but things you're trying to get through from your past relationships that you bring into new ones.
Yes.
I think it ultimately it could affect your current relationship that you're in. And when I brought stuff up to Tony and I had brought it up, he was like, well, we don't really need it. But I know that if I really felt deeply about that, I'm pretty sure he'd be like, whatever you want to do, I'm willing to try it if
Exactly.
you have to. And I think you just need to have an open mind. If you love the person enough, you will have an open mind and try whatever you can. So, for this person, I just say keep trying, keep communicating. And, you know, at the end of the day, what's best.
Hmm.
So, like you said, there's two sides to every story. We don't know what's on her side, but it's not easy. I've known people that haven't had sex in like years, and
Yeah.
that's it's actually very jarring when someone tells you that. You're like, huh? Because it's
They're
not
just
normal.
roommates
Yeah, exactly. Then why are you together?
for appearances, to
Hmm.
keep family out of their business, to save on
Or
rent if they don't
financial
own. Yeah.
security.
Hmm.
Don't be selfish, people. If you don't want to be with someone, let them go. Let
Hmm.
them
Let them find
free.
happiness elsewhere.
Hmm.
And you too. Mm.
Exactly. But yeah, that's all for now, Steph. I'm good on my end. I think it was a great
Yeah.
Fridays with me, and I think we covered a lot. And thank you to those that wrote in. I think those are actually really cool questions that actually kind of went hand in hand with what we were talking about earlier in regards to cheating. So
Yes, for
it was
sure. It
pretty
was
cool.
awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much for feeling comfortable enough to share, and hopefully you got some insight. I think this was a great sesh.
Yes,
Um
likewise.
and yeah, I can't wait for it to drop.
I know, and I can't wait for Saturday.
I can't wait to smell you. Is that weird?
I know. I feel like I haven't
I'm gonna
physically
breathe you
seen you
in.
in a long time.
I'm just gonna go.
I know, and you know what I love? So people that don't know, Kara and Tony are gonna go have dinner while Steph and I are inside living our best lives, right?
Oh my
With Live
god.
and Stone Temple Pilots. But I love that Tony and Kara are going to
Is
bond,
that gonna be small? I wish we could like, I don't know, put little cute cameras or have
right?
someone follow them around with a
For real, I
camera.
wish I
So
could have Presley go and
wait,
record it.
and Angel's gonna like take a selfie with him and torture us.
Oh my God, I can't. I can't.
It's
It's
just
gonna
gonna be
be
the cutest
amazing.
day ever. So I'm
It
excited.
is. Yeah, and I'm excited to have like some alone time with you too.
Me
I feel
too.
we're gonna like bring it back to our youth, right?
Roots. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to talk about it next week when we
Yeah.
gather for our regular session.
I'm very excited. Can't wait,
Likewise.
can't wait, can't wait.
You kill me. Oh, I love it. Well, thank you everyone, and thanks, Steph, for your Amazing advice as well. I couldn't do this show without you.
Oh, I'm so touched and honored, Neen. I feel
Oh,
the
for
same way
real.
about you.
I mean, I know it's Fridays with Neen, but it really is like a team effort here.
Ugh,
So,
we're a team in
yes.
everything we do. But yes, it was amazing. It was so valuable.
Mm.
And yeah, I really liked recording from within my closet too. I feel very
Same here.
cozy. I'm back in the closet there. I said the corny joke.
But oh, that's awesome.
Oh my
Oh, well, I can't wait
God.
to see you in your new babe cave
I can't
and the
wait.
reveal.
I can't flip and
So,
wait. I need to send you behind the scenes for
yes, I
sure.
love it. Ah,
But I
so
absolutely
excited.
love you and thank you for your
Likewise.
wisdom. And
Aw.
without further ado, we're going to wrap this up, folks. So, Neen,
Hmm.
I'm going to catch you on the flip side. That is on Saturday.
Okay. Sábado. Peace out, buddies.
Sabado.